Mamas on the floor right now. Aunties on the floor right now.
Just getting coffee, but it's a community versus if you go to a Dunkin' Donuts or maybe your neighborhood bodega, right? And that's because they've built a brand. So you know exactly what you're walking into, you know the promise, you know what they're going to deliver. And when you establish your brand, you're also able to charge a premium, right? Because again, it's your reputation, it's the perception and what people think. So when you have this brand, it justifies your premium pricing. So if you have a product or a service and you want to charge a premium for it, it also justifies, the awareness and why it's important, like the value that I'm going to get out of this, right? It's not just a cup of coffee, but what does it say about me because I'm at Starbucks, right? What does it say about who I am? Right. And so you as a brand, and you're building a brand for your company, right? What is the reputation that is following this brand? What is your promise to your audience? Right. And so at the end of the day, once you've built that brand, you can launch several products underneath that, and it all carry that same breath and that same energy. Right. And another beautiful thing I always love to say too, and now this is getting into the space of creating a brand for your business, but also tapping into that personal branding space as well. And I think that that's super important because, again, I love to share examples. If we look at like Sarah Blakely, she's the owner and founder of Spanx, right? And so Spanx is a brand and Sarah Blakely is also a brand. But the beautiful thing is that Sarah has built this, we know what Spanx stands for. It's, $1 million company. But also at this point, if Sarah Blakely was to launch any other product, any other brand, if she wrote a book, right, people are going to flood to buy her products to tap into because of who she is, right? She is that brand alone by herself. And so it creates a really powerful space for you in the world where people want to hear from you. And you kind of have that loyalty following no matter what brand you launch or how you evolve in the business. So building a brand is really important because, again, it's your reputation, right? And people want to be associated with winners. Right. And so if you build that brand as a winner, as someone who's going to deliver on your promise, then you will have likelihood of having more clients, more customers, and more features or recognition in the media because of that brand.
Awesome. Dr. D, are you ready for a question? Dr. D.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Here's my question. Is becoming this woman of elegance a part of your brand? Is a part of branding? You see her, she kind of dresses the same way, wear her hair the same way, kind of walk with a strut or whatever, however. Is that a part of branding, creating this persona, I guess?
Well, it's, to a certain degree, yes, it is, because you don't want to seem like unrecognizable to where every time somebody see you, you look different, you act different, and all of that. You have to be dependable. You have to, people, when they see you, they have to be able to recognize the posture and the way you carry yourself at all times. You can't be a chameleon, so to speak, in representing who you are, because people want to get to know you, not to even to the point of seeing you. When you walk into a room, they know you because of your packaging. It's just like when you see a Starbucks cups all look the same, and you're not gonna go in there and see a different looking Starbucks cup. They're all gonna be the same design, the same logo. Your appearance is mostly what I would consider like a logo, so to speak.
Wow, yes, good.
So when they see you, they know you. You can't, you can't dress refined one time and then the next time you got a bikini dress on, and then next time you got, your business attire on. You have to be the same beautiful you without them seeing through you, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
But the branding is the way you look. When you see a KFC, you see that KFC, you know that coloring, you know that logo. You are the logo of your brand, so to speak.
I got it.
So that's why you have to, make sure that your appearance is always at a certain level of respectability and integrity and all of that, so that they will not be confused in
Mhm.
who you are when they see you. You understand what I'm saying?
I absolutely do that. Persona. It is a
Right. That's
it's
a
a
good
brand.
word for it, persona.
It's a brand. And okay, great answer. Dr. Wetzer, Mr. Wetzer. I keep always calling you Dr. Mr. Wetzel, answer this for me. What does a brand mean to you? Give me the male perspective on that.
Well, the brand is typically you're going to look for quality. What's the quality involved in the product? You're looking for a quality of product, and if you know that company or whatever it is, that, like you say, it's going to be consistent. The consistency of their product is important, and it gives you status. Like that's, for instance, K Spade. Okay, my wife wanted to buy. I think that's the name. K Spade is a
Yes,
brand.
K-Spade,
Okay,
yes.
all right. So she like that brand. Based on the brand, she look at the quality, and it's going to be the same type of thing. And people have a tendency, if you pay more for something, you expect better quality.
Yes.
And that's also part of your brand. 'Cause I noticed when I first started the business, when I started charging more money, people started respecting me more. So I charged more money. So when you are an accountant, you charge more money, people respect you. A lawyer, the same thing. They know that they're going to get that quality, what they're looking for in that branding.
Uh-huh.
And because it's become familiar. Like, for instance, 1-800, Empire was a commercial on in Chicago all the time. So even if you didn't like Empire, it jingled. So it's something that you relate to.
Okay, so what about the your work habits, if you will, or the way you handle your business? Is that considered branding as well? In other words, you have step with the business, you don't do this, customers can't really count on you, or they can say you number one. I see that also as a part of what you have created.
Your
With
reputation,
brand. Yes.
and your whole being, it creates influence. Okay,
Mm.
I called somebody and he answered the phone as doctor. So he wanted to be called a doctor when he answered the phone. He said, "This is John Johnson." He said, "This is Dr. Johnson." So he automatically created influence for himself because he said he was a doctor, and people were, going to call him by that.
Okay.
Your name creates influence. When you walk in a room, people are going to size you up, and within the next 5 seconds, somebody's going to size you up and say, "Hey, I like this person or not," just by the way in which you walk in the room. We as
Awesome.
humans do that every day. Decide who we like just at the first, split second that we see the person.
Mhm. Ms. Hoffler, how do you feel when you're driving up to an event in that Maserati?
It's like what Cara had mentioned before, that it's about branding. It's about a way you carry yourself. So that name in itself has its own reputation, and it puts you at a certain level, and it changes your mindset. You know, some of the things that you thought may not be possible, now there's more possibilities. And someone would say, well, why would you feel like that with just a car? It's just a machine. But when you look at it, it's more than a machine. It's a pathway to wealth. It's a pathway to changing your mindset. To me, it's like a pathway of possibilities. Because you're putting yourself at a certain standard, at a certain level, then your ideas flow better. Your ideas seem bigger. Your ideas seem like they're stretching. And the possibilities to me are endless, you know. It's a different feel when you driving in a $7,000 car and when you're riding in $100,000 car. May not necessarily be yours. You know, you could just be renting it. You could just be, you know, in there with somebody else, but it still is a mindset and it's still a feeling.
Very good, very good. I know sometime I would go to a hotel, and one of the most expensive hotels in Atlanta. Probably about, I order a drink or something just to give myself the flow, the feel of being in that setting and telling myself that I belong here. And
Association brings on assimilation.
that's it. That's it. And I can remember, and I still do it now, when I insist on, or I have a passion for something, I really want it, then I'm going to put a picture up there of it and just watch it. Don't even think about it. But that picture is creating
Manifest.
something. It is. It's manifest. It's creating something. And Dr. D, I've watched you over the years, and I think a part of branding is also consistency, persistence. It didn't matter what, you look around, Dr. D is there. Say, what, where's she, how'd she got, yeah, she's there.
Well, for me, when I do that, I go to learn. When I go to different events, I'm in a learning mode. And when you were talking about being in places, we were taught as children it doesn't matter where you go, you walk like you belong there. So you will always feel like you where you should be, whether it be like you were talking about nice hotels and nice houses. Even as even as children, we used to look in the catalog. They had the Spiegel catalog, even just magazines that had nice houses and furniture. When we looked at that, we manifested in our mind that we could have it. So nothing ever seemed too big for us. Like for me, when you talk about riding in a Maserati, riding in a this, that, or the third. Now, see, from where I was brought up, no matter what I was in, I was a millionaire factor. It wasn't the car. And because no matter what I'm in or where I'm at, I know that the importance is me. It's not what I'm driving. That's why even with being a part of the Queen of Sheba group now, which is a nonprofit for women, and because of understanding what humility does, to really be a